Hey, so this is, I don't know, it's whatever day it is, Wednesday or something. And we're going to try something new. As we work forward on this final essay, I'm going to write one too. And I'm going to walk you through a slightly edited version of my writing process. I can't show you everything because it takes place in my little brain. Woo! My hair is really fluffy. Anyway, but it takes place in my head, but I'm going to kind of walk you through the stuff I can. So here we go. Hopefully this will be beneficial. Drinking lots of tea. I'm trying to keep these videos of a modestly appropriate length. So I was going to write about Buffy the Vampire Slayer, kind of over it now. And what happened is I read two books. I read How to Do Nothing by Jenny Odell. There you go. And Weather by Jenny Uphill. Beautiful. They're both impossibly great books. Weather is a novel. How to Do Nothing is kind of like a half manifesto, half self-help book. They're incredible. But what they got me thinking about is kind of us as human beings and our relationship to each other and our relationship to the planet and how to deal with that. And then, like, I'm not a scientist, so I'm not really capable of writing about like the climate or the environment in any kind of meaningful way because, I mean, I'm not a scientist. What I can write about, though, is how issues of like the environment or climate change are presented, represented, and packaged in the media. So I was like, oh, okay, I can do a media climate change process. And that happened in my head over the past several weeks as I've been reading and hanging out at home. And these books kind of like put the bow on it along with some other things I've been reading, but whatever. I'm reading a lot. Anyway, so that's what I'm gonna do. So a lot of times I'll start with Google, but for this kind of video, what I wanna do is I wanna start with a database. So I'm gonna go to where I want to go. Oh, I'm going to go to the LCISD databases because I think some of you try to go to Lone Star databases and it gets a little bit whoop, 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 whoop. By the way, I am on my Vampire Diaries journey, as one of you called it, and it's pretty special. And I have to tell you, for those of you that have ever watched that show, I don't care what anybody says. It is 1000% about Damon. I don't even know how you're supposed to care about this Stefan dude when Damon is just there being literally rad all the time. It's like all the time, like he doesn't take a break. Even like when he's being like murderous, you're still kind of like, yeah, but I mean, you're a vampire, so it's okay. And when he's not, he's actually pretty cool, and I'm kind of down with it. So yeah, so Team Damon, whatever. That's how I feel. Anyway, let's get to work. So I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to go on a journey to LCISD databases. And we're going to look at things for climate change and media representation. So let's see what we're going to find. So click share screen. I guess I need to go over here, and we'll start with something I was looking at on Twitter. Yeah, it's the Bon Appetit Test Kitchen background because that's how I party. That's where I was. Okay, let's go to Lone Star Topics. Where's ClassLink? Is it there? Oh, there it is. Okay. So you see right here, that's not it. There are books there in McAfee if you want something to read. They have audiobooks and books to read. You can check them out. It's really a good place. So let's go to library resources. Let's go to, I like Academic OneFile. It's kind of how I party. How's the time going? Oh, still long. I'm not going to go through the whole process. This does take a long time. I'm already at 5 minutes. I'm not going to ramble on forever. So you know me, advanced search. Okay, Academic OneFile. So let's try. Now, a lot of you are doing a lot of words, so I'm going to do things like this. And I'm going to take my glasses off so I can read. Oh, sorry, I'm doing this for real. This is not practiced. Climate change. We're going to start here. Now, really quick thing, the reason I did it like that is I think that it helps give me a broader range of sources. It feels better to me, so I do it. Now down here, you'll see where it says full text. I need that click. And I'm gonna click peer reviewed because I want things that are coming from scholarly sources. I want things that are relevant and not too biased. I want to try to get a general perspective first. And as you can see, we have 490. Dope. Okay, so this is what I do. So I get this back, and then I literally start looking. Inequality among now, first of all, I'm looking at media, so I want to kind of look at what's being said. So there's a spread of misinformation. There's global weirding. No. Scientific media literacy, fake news, pseudoscience. I'm looking at this one right here. So that's about, that's okay. This is about the government. Naive do-good, no. Virtual reality as a tool. So I'm already kind of like blah, blah, blah on that. So over here, you have this little thing. It says filter your results. And over here it has search within. So I'm going to search the word representation. I'm going to see what that does. It's going to come up a lot. And I'm going to search that. It got me down to 76, which is nice. Okay. Now, right here, I have, and I got lucky, and this often happens, is that you'll see a few things that look good. The media and climate change, discuss media coverage of climate change with Joe Littler. Okay, cool. It's from a magazine called Soundings. It's peer reviewed. It was published in 2009. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to look at it. I don't want to read it right now because that would be really boring. We're already at 8 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to download, sorry, to wipe my face. I'm going to download this bad boy. Okay, cool. Now I've got it and I'm going to go back because I saw something else. And there's no, listen, just really quick pause before I move on to one more thing. There's no secret here. All I'm doing is reading titles. Now I got lucky, and I'm not lying to you. I did not practice this search in advance. I do not use Academic OneFile very often. I went here to kind of show you the experience. So when I did climate change and media, man, I looked at those first page. I was like, those first page hits, and I didn't see anything. So I thought, well, but I said the word, the media's representation of climate change. So I added that word in, and on the first page, you can see we got that one. But also I saw this, the uncertainties of climate change in Spanish daily newspapers, content analysis of press coverage from 2000 to 2010. Even though it's about Spanish newspapers, it's probably going to point me in the right way. So I'm going to go ahead and get that one too. Same process. Go over here, click download. Also, like if you wonder what I'm looking at right now, I'm looking over here and I'm looking at words, but I'm seeing climate and Murux. That's a different thing. Okay. There are subjects and I'm fine. I don't want to look at that yet. So I've got them both downloaded and I saw one more thing. And this, I don't know. And this is something that happens to me and should happen when you're researching. I see this. The idea of climate change as a belief system. Why climate The idea of climate change is a belief system. Why climate activism resembles a religious movement. Maybe I need the beanie on. Maybe that'll help. It's a little bit better. And I like this idea. Is it, you're saying, Fred, bro, that's not about flipping media representation. How can you use that? Since I'm doing my process, I'm going to be honest with you. a lot of this is that I go with my gut. Because there's, first of all, the idea that this itself, this article is a mediated representation of climate change. It's an article, it's a text written about climate change. Therefore, it's in media, the media of print journalism. Second, it's a representation of climate change as what? As a religious movement. So this is an interesting way to think of climate change. And my brain back here starts to think, if the media presents climate change as a religious movement, then it would make sense why certain people would immediately react, would put up the barrier against it, because they already have a religion they believe in. And now you're telling me, oh, here's your new God. Immediately, my heart says, I'm going to react to that. So I'm trying to think, so I'm thinking about that through. Now, I'm not trying to make it, by the way, like little sidebar. I'm not making any claims about anybody. I'm not making any claims about media or climate change or people, whatever. I'm just this video, as rambly as it is me thinking out loud. That's why that's what happened in my brain, is that, that might be useful. So I'm gonna get it. Sorry, I gotta take my glasses off to see up close. I'm old and I need new glasses, but I don't want to get them because I don't want bifocals, because my dad wears bifocals and I don't want to be my dad. Ha! Sorry about the song. Let's see, Jane Fonda, I'm looking over here. Jane Fonda discusses climate activism. Greta Thunberg's dad does not support our climate change. Okay, so that's cool. I like that. What year is that from? 2016? Down with it. Let's check the rest of the page and see. Oh, dominant visual frames and climate change stories, implications for formative evaluation and climate change campaigns. Oh, it's a communication journal. So they're literally looking at how those images are literally presented. That's way beyond my knowledge. That'll be a difficult article, but I have to have it. I'm not going to go now. Let me be, after I download this, let me speak to you honestly. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing for a second. Stop. Okay, let me be honest with you. This process that you saw me get these 4 articles, in reality, I'm not done. Because, well, I'm looking at the time on the video, we're already at 13 minutes, and I don't want to go on much longer than this. In reality, the next steps, there's 2 next steps. Number 1, I'm going to keep going through Academic OneFile. I might change to social media. I might change to presentation. You know how I did representation? I might take that word off and change and add presentation. I might do depiction. I might change media to social media as a search term. And I'll see what happens there. Then the other thing that I'll do is then I have to start reading those articles, because what I'm doing at this phase right now, like what you're in right now in the research phase, is learning about the topic. I've got to know a lot more. I have a lot of ideas about media representation. I have a lot of ideas about climate change. I have a lot of ideas of how the media presents climate change. I have to actually now learn what's actually going on. In the video that I'll make probably tomorrow, if I don't make another one today, because I'm kind of like into this right now, I'll go to Google and I'll literally do like what I'm going to do when I go there, and I won't do it now. I'll do it live. We'll do it live. It's an old Bill O'Reilly meme. It's terrible, but it's hilarious. Anyway, what I'll do is I will Google things like climate change, in quotation marks, NBC, climate change, MSNBC, climate change, Fox News, climate change, BBC, and I'll see recent, and what I'll try to do is find recent news coverage, and I might watch some segments and see what they're doing and take little notes about what's going on. Because what I'm doing now, again, to conclude, is I'm learning. I'm becoming as knowledgeable about media representations of climate change as possible. You're saying one question. Fred, do you need to know about climate change, like the science, the data, those things? My heart says no. My heart says I'm less concerned with my paper here about saying, well, listen, the data actually demonstrates that, or the data clearly doesn't support that. I'm not really interested in like litigating or fighting about the validity of claims for or against man-made climate change. I'm not really interested in doing that. Also, I'm not at all qualified to do that. However, I am very qualified and I can learn a great deal about how the media represents climate change. And this can be pro, this can be against, but it's not just whether they're for it or whether they're against it. It's the manner in which they present it. Like, what do they do? What kind of images? Who are the people that they put forward? If you're presenting a piece on climate change and you have a person that you're going to interview who believes that human beings are responsible for significant changes to the Earth's climate, what does that person look like? Is it a boy? Is it a girl? Are they young? Are they old? Are they attractive? Are they a scientist? Are they American? What do they look like? Because I'm telling you right now, there are going to be trends, and the similar types of experts are going to be used on the pro side. Conversely, when we're interviewing somebody against the idea that human beings have a major effect on the Earth's climate, we're going to have a very specific kind of individual, I bet. And I bet that these individuals are specific to not only the argument they're making, but the audience of the media outlet. So we're going to look at this thing. It's going to be a lot of looking, and what we're also hoping is that somebody's done a lot of this work for us, and we can use their work to kind of jump forward, and that may change, and that may change what we're arguing. Because, for example, if somebody's done a lot of this work already, I may need to get specific. How does MSNBC represent climate change? How does mainstream American news channels represent climate change? How is it represented by news outlets on social media like Twitter? So I may need to refine my thing. I don't know yet. Right now I'm learning what's out there. So anyway, this video, not surprisingly, went on longer than expected, but that's okay. Anyway, so I might make another video today. I might not. We'll see. Anyway, hopefully this gives you an idea of what to do, gets you kind of started thinking. It is a process and it takes time. The reason I'm giving you time and not giving you a lot of tasks right now is because I need you to be sitting there with your headphones in, going through databases, not just one file. Go, if you can get into the Lone Star Ones, check there and play around on Google. I'll be back with a Google video later to see what we find when we look at the big wide world of the web. And if you have any questions, please let me know. And all right, so that's going to be groovy. And check you later. Team Damon for life.